Hello, I'm Victoria from BiblioLifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. In today's episode, I'll be talking all about the 2024 Summer Reading Guide, the Summer Reading Challenge, share a list of things to do this summer, and I'll share 8 standout books worth adding to your reading list. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop for all things summer reading and living, then this episode is just for you, so stay tuned. Hi friends, welcome again to the Reader's Couch. I'm your host, Victoria Wood, and in today's episode, we will be talking all about all things summer reading and living. So in today's episode, I'll be talking more about the 2024 Summer Reading Guide. I'll be talking about the Summer Reading Challenge. I'll share a list of things that you can do by yourself or with your family or with your friends this summer. Plus, I'm going to share 8 standout books worth adding to your reading list. So needless to say, this is a summer-packed episode. And again, you're going to get those reading and lifestyle ideas, tips, and inspiration. So I hope you really find this episode helpful. But before I get into the episode, I want to do a little shout out. It's something I've been wanting to do on the solo shows for some time now, and this is where I'm going to shout out folks who've left me a review wherever they're listening to this show. So whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows, leave the Reader's Couch podcast a 5-star rating and write me a review if you love the show. Spotify also has this Q&A box, so you can also leave your thoughts for the episode or just share any information with me. And I also have this new feature where you can send me a text. So you can send me a text message. There's a button in the show's description that says send me a text. Just click that, write your message, and I'll read it on here for the solo shows. This is a really great way for us to interact. And I'm really excited about it. So today I am reading a Q&A response from Spotify. Now, this person does not have a username. It's a bunch of numbers. 12685799930. This was on episode 198, Becoming Madam Secretary by Stephanie Dre. Now, they shared that this was an excellent episode. I'm so glad you liked it. But they also shared some fun facts that Frances Perkins has ties to their local area in Maine, and that a house she lived in is in a town next to where they live. So I found it very interesting. So they also included a website, francisperkinscenter.org/about us, and I clicked the link, and yes, there is a Frances Perkins Center, and it's in Newcastle, Maine. So if there's someone who lives nearby in Maine, or if you're traveling to Maine this summer, it would be worth checking out. So if you haven't already, listen to episode 198, Becoming Madam Secretary by Stephanie Dre, so you can know more about this woman in history who has done amazing things for the American people and just the country at large. She's really someone worth knowing. Thank you so much to the person who left this Q&A on Spotify. I really appreciate it. Now, I haven't received any text messages to date, and the most recent review on Apple Podcast was in April of 2024, and I really appreciate it so much. Bill Blaster1, I hope I'm saying your name right. It says, Victoria is so helpful. I really appreciate that, by the way. Victoria will help you declutter and be practical about your books and has many ideas on what to do with your large book collection. Highly recommend, as she's absolutely right about books on shelves. Thank you so much, Bill. And I have to say, I am taking some of the tips I've shared with you, both in that podcast episode and on the blog, BiblioLifestyle.com. I've been doing some of that in real life because, In case you haven't heard, I am moving. So school is out here in Florida for the summer. And usually summer is a really quiet time. My husband has a different work schedule, so he's home more. And summer is usually more chill. Yes, we do some activities. We might go on a holiday or two, a vacation, a trip somewhere, whether it's an extended one or just a day trip or a weekend trip. We're always doing something for summer, but this time around, we're moving. So needless to say, a lot of time will be spent packing up things, which I'm actively doing right now, as well as unpacking when we get to our final destination. So summer has started off quite busy, I would say, which is not something I am very used to. However, I am taking it in stride. But I am really excited today to talk about summer reading and summer living with you. And I have lots of exciting books and ideas planned. So without further ado, let's get into how we can read and live better this summer. Okay, so first, let's talk about the 2024 Summer Reading Guide. I'm really excited about this year's guide because it marks the 5th year of sharing summer reading goodness with you all here at BiblioLifestyle and by extension, the Reader's Couch podcast. I'm really excited about this year's guide because summer is just a perfect time for reading, I think. And what better way to spend those long summer days than with a good book in hand? So, we have the Summer Reading Guide to hopefully help you along your journey. Now, this year's guide has 45 new books organized into 8 categories, so it really makes it easy for you to find something based on your genre preference or your current reading mood. And if 45 books sounds like too much, trust me, I completely understand. Then you don't have to worry because we have one extra category in the guide that's dedicated to the minimalist reader. Now, the minimalist reads list is for those readers who are only planning to pick up a few books this season. Now, the good news with the minimalist reads list is that if you follow this reading list, you will get a wide range of books to read for this summer because one book is selected from each category in the guide. So you will be reading across genres this summer. But also in the guide, you'll find fun things to do this season, tips to help you be more present this summer. You'll find summer-themed recipes, reading and lifestyle tips, a summer reading challenge, and lots more. So I really tried to make the Summer Reading Guide your one-stop shop to having a really fun and exciting summer reading, but also living season as well. So I really hope you find plenty of books you love in the guide. If you haven't already, visit thesummerreadingguide.com to download your free copy of the guide. Again, it's the word the, T-H-E, summerreadingguide.com, and it will take you straight to the landing page where you'll be required to put in your name, your email address, hit submit, and then you'll have a copy of the guide delivered to you via email. Now, when you do sign up for the guide, full disclosure, you will be added on my weekly email list. Now, we have some fun things planned for the summer. Really fun, really exciting. Every Friday, we do a weekly edit. So in the weekly edit, you will find a deep dive on a particular topic or an author or just anything that's top of mind. So far, we have done the summer reading edit, of course. So that had the guide, classics to read this summer, things to do this summer, bucket list ideas, just all things summer. We also had an Ernest Hemingway edit, which I think Hemingway is really excellent for summer. We had an Italian armchair edit. That was really fun and exciting. And most recently, we just had a Caribbean literature edit to celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month. So again, the summer edits are super fun. We'll be visiting more destinations. We'll be doing more author deep dives. And there's just lots to look forward to. And the weekly edit comes in your email every Friday. I also do a Tuesday journal email that's a bit more personal, sharing what's going on in my life, what I'm reading. Again, I share BookList in a topical manner again. I just shared some noteworthy books to look forward to in June. I'm really excited to share some of the books readers have on their TBRs next week. So again, lots to look forward to in the weekly newsletter. So you'll get that once you sign up for the summer reading guide, and you'll be the first to know when all the other guides drop and so on. So I hope you'll sign up for the guide if you haven't already. Okay, now if you already have your list of books that you want to read this summer, again, it doesn't all have to come from the guide. You might be interested in reading books from your shelves, or you're taking out books from your library, or whatever you're doing this summer. If you want to mix it up and have a bit of fun, then I want to invite you to join the 2024 Summer Reading Challenge. Now, this year's challenge has 5 prompts. So we're trying to read 5 books over the 3 summer months of June, July, and August. Now, the Summer Reading Challenge began on June 1st, but it's not too late. You can join in now, and we're reading through to August 31st. Now, the theme for this year's Summer Reading Challenge is Read and Relax this summer, because we want to help you make the most of your summer reading by providing prompts that will allow you to escape, unwind, and discover new stories. So the 5 prompts for this year's Summer Reading Challenge are: 1, read a cozy mystery; 2, read a beach read. And again, I know a beach read is super subjective, right? What a beach read is for one person is not for another. So whatever fits the beach read description for you, select that book and read it for this prompt. Side note, if you're interested in learning more about the history of beach reads, I will include a link in the show notes so you can tune into that episode. It was really interesting. But yes, getting back to the challenge, prompt 3 is read a book set in a relaxing location. Again, relaxing location, completely subjective. You could be relaxed in your bed, on your couch, in your backyard, at the park, at the pool, at the beach, at the lake. Anywhere that is really relaxing to you, read a book set in that location. Prompt 4, read a feel-good romance. I know romances end in happily ever after, but whatever feels good, whatever trope makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good, read that book. And the last one is an escapist science fiction or fantasy book. So if you want to read straight up science fiction, if you want to read fantasy, whatever you want to read for that prompt, that's all you have to do. So again, we're reading 5 books over June, July, and August. Now, if you're a voracious reader and you're looking for more of a challenge, you can read 2 or 3 books from each prompt for a total of 10 or 15 books. If you're looking for even more of a challenge, consider joining the annual reading challenge. So the 2024 annual reading challenge that has 12 prompts. You can also go back to previous reading challenges to check out those prompts. But again, there is lots of information and inspiration out there for you to help you along with your summer reading. I hope you'll consider joining the Summer Reading Challenge. Now, I also want to talk about things to do this summer, because I know it's super easy to say, oh, just read. It's a really great activity. Of course, but I also want to encourage folks to do summer themed things, or things that are just better done in summer, or just to take advantage of the summer weather. Because look, I live in Florida, so it's mostly sunshine here, but I know for some folks, the weather, they have distinct seasons. So I really want folks to take advantage of the summer and prioritize seasonal living. Now, seasonal living, just in case you're not familiar, is all about aligning your lifestyle with the natural rhythms of the year. By doing so, you're really just taking advantage of what each season has to offer. And I think it not only makes you more connected to nature, which is really great, but I think it can enrich your life because it adds variety, it adds change, and it adds a bit of excitement. I thought to myself, I know I'm coming on here to talk about the guide and summer reading challenges and share some book recommendations with you, but I want to share some seasonal living ideas for summer with you as well. So if you're new to seasonal living, if you're thinking, hey, I might explore this, I might try this, if you're looking for just fun activities, delicious recipes, ways to switch up your wardrobe, your home decor, or just some inspiration and wellness ideas, I have some stuff I would love to share with you. Okay, first off, let's talk about outdoor activities. I really want, again, especially for folks who have those distinct seasons, and when the fall and winter come around, they don't really have that bright sunny sunshine, take advantage of the sunny days, right? Go outside, breathe in the fresh air, and make memories. You can have a picnic at the park with your family or your friends. You can have a beach day. You can go on a hiking adventure. I love hiking. Maybe gardening is something you could consider. Now, I know most people get their gardening sorted in spring, but you know what? It's not too late. You can start an indoor garden or an outdoor one. Maybe try gardening. I've often found gardening therapeutic, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into my gardening era after I move. Also, consider outdoor sports. Maybe it's playing soccer or frisbee. I love netball. I like tennis. Just get outside and do something. Bike riding, again, hiking, that's great. So, really take advantage by spending some time outdoors, especially if you live in an area that has distinct seasons. Another thing you can do is embrace seasonal recipes. So just go to your local store, farmer's market if you have one, and just see what's in season because odds are those things are on sale. And I love a good sale. And it's really good when you can incorporate seasonal ingredients because they're fresh. They're juicy, they're at their peak, they're in their best state at this point, as opposed to having something off season. Super easy recipes that I tend to go to are like watermelon and feta salad, grilled vegetables. My husband loves grilling, so I love when he throws on some grilled vegetables. Strawberries are very in season where I live, cherries. Peaches, oh my gosh, I love peach cobbler, a cherry anything. Oh, tomatoes. Consider doing something with tomatoes, like a pasta or something. Berry parfaits, again, if you have fresh berries in season. So just really go to the store, see what's in season, usually some of the stuff on sale, farmer's market if you have it, and incorporate those ingredients in your meals. Home decor, you can consider just adding some bright, airy textiles. Same thing for your wardrobe, right? I have certain things I wear in the summertime that I wouldn't normally wear at any other time. So bring out those bright, airy textiles. Even though I'm in Florida, I play around with different colors in the summertime as well. So you can consider doing that as well. Maybe summer scents. If you're into candles and stuff like that, that would be a great thing to switch up your scent during the season. You can bring some outdoor plants that don't really do good outdoors indoor and add that to your decor. That would be great. And now is a good time to declutter and refresh. Usually that's something we do in my house at the end of the school year. So I know spring, we have spring cleaning and stuff, but we have an end of the school year stuff. So things that you're not going to bring into the next school year or just things that don't fit anymore. It's just a great time to declutter and refresh not just your wardrobe, but your house. It's a great time to donate, upcycle if you can, and then sometimes some things are unfortunate and you have to trash them. So you can do that as well. During the summer, exercise if you can, pay attention to your skincare, hydrate, check in with your mental health. That's very important to stay well. So I hope I've given you some ideas of things you can do in the summer. More activities include, let me just throw some out there. You can have a puzzle night, do some puzzle, maybe do mini golf, make s'mores, have a balloon water fight. I used to love those. I did say play sports. Spend an evening stargazing. I love stargazing. Now, if you live in a community where there are lots of lights on and stuff, sometimes it's really hard for you to see the stars. So maybe trek to your local park, roll out a blanket, bring a telescope if you have it. And even if you don't, just lay there and just stargaze. It really is lots of fun. Maybe consider volunteering somewhere. That is really important. So for me, for example, my local community kitchen where we do a free meal, that's somewhere where I'll be popping in. Another thing you could do is have a barbecue, have friends come around or family come around. You can have a paint party, wine testing, visit local gardens, write letters, get your cards sorted for the holidays. Don't shoot the messenger. I know it's super early to be talking about it, but I use this time to get ahead on like crafty gifts that I'm planning for the holidays and birthdays. So yeah, there's lots to do this summer. Again, I'll include a link in the show's description with the bucket list ideas, the seasonal living ideas, and just more information about seasonal living if that's something you're interested in. And of course, I'm really excited to round out this episode with 8 standout books from the 2024 Summer Reading Guide. I'm really excited to share these 8 books with you. Again, they are from the minimalist reading list in the Summer Reading Guide. I selected one standout book from each category because, again, remember, the guide has 45 books organized across 8 categories. So I'm really excited to share these books with you, and I hope you'll select a book or two from my list. Okay, so the first book on my list is The Anthropologist by Aysegul Savas. And apologies if I butchered the name, odds are I did. But The Anthropologist is a literary fiction selection. And my elevator pitch for this novel is that it takes an intimate look into a couple's journey of building a home and navigating modern love in a foreign city, all while dealing with the challenges of maintaining connections to their roots, but also finding their place in the world. Now, I selected The Anthropologist as one of my must-read books for your summer reading list because I think it's an incredibly insightful novel. The author does a really great job by providing intimate details and nuance and sharing the small joys and comforts and ordinary moments of daily life that all characters are experiencing. And I just loved how the author really highlighted just how meaningful these little things can be. And in this case, it's in the context of folks living in a foreign country. That's not their native home. But I honestly feel this could be applicable to anyone, quite frankly. I also loved how this novel explored larger and more universal questions that, again, anyone can relate to, which is how to live and exist in this world, in this present day, but also do so in an authentic way, like staying true to yourself and your values and your roots and what you want to do in a world that's constantly filled with voices and noise and just people telling you how to live your life. So I thought this was an incredibly, again, insightful novel, incredibly nuanced, and it's a quick read. So I really think you can fit this book into your summer reading plans. And again, it's The Anthropologist by Aysegul Savas. Book 2 on my list I've been describing as my wildcard selection. It's entitled Nicked by M.T. Anderson. Now, this is historical fiction meets literary fiction. Now, I selected this for my historical fiction selection, but it reads a bit literary. And this is a historical fiction novel that you will be taking a risk on because it's not traditional historical fiction. Now, my elevator pitch for this one is Nicked is set in the year 1087. So we're going way back. And it's set during a pox outbreak in Bari, Italy. And the novel follows a monk and a treasure hunter as they embark on a daring heist to steal St. Nicholas's healing bones in order to cure a plague. Now, I selected this as a standout book and a must-read for your summer reading list because it is such a beautifully written book. Now, again, I'm pitching it as historical fiction meets literary fiction, also meets a heist novel. And I loved how it blended history and adventure and also gave us a slow burn romance at the same time with characters I promise you won't soon forget. I also appreciated how the author handled the spiritual aspects of the novel. Again, this is set in Italy. Italy is a very Catholic country, a very religious country. And again, these two folks are stealing St. Nicholas's healing bones to cure a plague. Of course, there are religious and spiritual elements in this novel. And what those elements really did was make me more introspective with myself. So again, this is a book that's going to make you think, but again, it's giving you history, it's giving you adventure, it's giving you a bit of romance, but it's a really great book. I hope people will take a chance with this one. Again, this is like my wildcard pick, and that is Nicked by M.T. Anderson. Okay, book 3 on my list is my family and friendship selection. And this one is entitled God Bless You, Otis Spunkmeyer by Joseph Earl Thomas. And my elevator pitch is in this novel, we meet a Black Army veteran and hospital technician who is navigating a tough shift filled with challenging patients, all while reflecting on his complex personal life and struggles, while also reflecting on society at large. Now, I selected this as one of your must-read books for your summer reading list because first and foremost, I just love a stream of consciousness novel. So that's what you're going to get in this one, stream of consciousness. And that is a style Virginia Woolf pioneered in a way. So if you're a fan of Virginia Woolf and you like her writing style, or you just like stream of consciousness novels, you are going to be sucked in with this one. And it's beautifully written. It's just absolutely brilliant. So for me, I was getting an art form that I love, which is stream of consciousness. And again, it was done really beautifully. Now, the author also does a really great job at giving readers an open, raw, and unfiltered peek into the life of an emergency department technician, which my day job, my background is in healthcare. So I really understood it and appreciated a lot of this nuance that healthcare professionals experience. But on a deeper level, the novel really shares the personal and societal challenges our narrator faces. We are really privy to his personal reflections as well, and just how he views life and how he perceives himself and how he's perceived by others, if that makes sense. So anyway, this is a must read because it's beautifully written. We have a compelling protagonist. He's someone you won't soon forget either. And it's a novel that really explores not just the personal, but societal challenges that humans face. And in this case, this Black Army veteran working in this hospital. And again, another great thing that this author did was that he delivered all of this with such humor and sincerity and candor. And I just appreciated that. To be really candorous can be challenging at times, just for individuals. However, this was done beautifully in the novel. So I hope you'll give this one a read. Truly, again, this is a quick read. This is another quick read for your summer reading list. And that's God Bless You, Otis Spunkmeyer by Joseph Earl Thomas. Okay, book 4 is my non-fiction selection. It's a memoir. And this one is entitled The Widow's Guide to Dead Bastards by Jessica Waite. Now, my elevator pitch for this one is, in this memoir, a widow shares her tumultuous journey of grieving her husband's sudden death, uncovering his secret life and betrayals, and experiencing supernatural encounters. Okay, so that's the official elevator pitch, but here's my real pitch. Did you end up down the TikTok rabbit hole with the Risa Tisa Who the F Did I Marry series? It was on TikTok. It was a young woman sharing her truth about how she was essentially bamboozled by this man she was dating and eventually married. And it was a 50-part series. It was all over TikTok. I think it even made the morning news circuit. People were just talking about Risa Tisa. If you don't know Risa Tisa, just Google it. Risa Tisa, Who the F Did I Marry series. I think Risa would be telling a whole different story if Legion, which was the name she used for her husband that she was telling us the story about, ex-husband, by the way, because they're divorced. However, if Legion had died and then she was experiencing some supernatural experiences like Legion was coming back to haunt her from the grave, I think this would be that book. So, needless to say, if you're a fan of Risa Tisa's Who the F Did I Marry, if you are compelled by narratives of being in a relationship or even a friendship with someone that you thought you knew, but then when something happens, you realized you had no idea who this person was, that's what you're going to get in this book. Now, I selected The Widow's Guide to Dead Bastards as one of my must-read books for your summer reading list, because it's an account of betrayal, grief, and also mental illness. Now, the heavy on the mental illness, because I think that helps to answer some questions. But what I found extremely enlightening, because this isn't something I see in books often, is that on top of all of that, which is the grief, the betrayal, and the mental illness, the author openly shares her supernatural encounters that she experienced, where it's like her husband is reaching out to her from beyond the grave. Now, I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone, but I know the people closest to me that died in my life for the first time, like the real the first time I really experienced grief was when my paternal grandparents passed away. I grew up with them. They helped raise me. They helped raise my mom for all intents and purposes. Obviously, they raised my dad because it's his parents. They were like the proper matriarch, patriarch of the family and the extended family and all that stuff. But anyway, when my granddad died, because he died first, you couldn't tell me that man's presence was still not there. Now, he had an ankle injury years ago, actually, the year I was born, and he had like screws and things in his ankle. And so when he would walk, and sometimes when it irritates him, he would drag his leg, right? So he has his house shoes on, his house slippers, and sometimes he would drag it. So I could hear him coming up the hall. And I could hear that when he passed. And I know the whole psychology of the brain, and I get that. I know the practical facts and knowledge behind why that happens to us. But it feels very real. So this woman, this author, is discovering all these things about her husband that she had no idea. But also let's throw in the supernatural elements as well. So that I found incredibly interesting because that's not something I often read about. And I also appreciated that she took us on her journey of the different healing methods that she went through. So this was a very candid memoir of just navigating loss, but also possibly finding solace in the end. I know this might not be your typical read, but I was just simply drawn in by this book. I really was. Couldn't stop turning the pages. If you're open to it, I hope you'll give The Widow's Guide to Dead Bastards by Jessica Waite a go. Okay, the next book I'm recommending is your mystery and thriller selection. And the book I'm recommending is The Unwedding by Ali Condé. Now, I am aware that Reese Witherspoon has selected it for her book club selection, but again, I am going out on a limb to say I selected it first. And because I put out my guy in the middle of May. So yes, this was on my list for a really long time. Now, my elevator pitch for The Unwedding is that in the novel, we meet a woman who becomes involved in a murder mystery at a luxury resort where guests are found dead and a storm leaves them stranded, which obviously escalates the danger. Now, I really appreciated this book, and I think it should be one of your must reads for your summer reading list, because first and foremost, it is summer. And this is set at a luxurious resort in the scenic setting of Big Sur. Now, I've never been to Big Sur, but I definitely want to go after reading this one, which is perfect for armchair travelers. So let's go to California, to this beautiful location. So again, perfect for armchair travelers, plus the mystery plot that is intensified by the storm that also isolates the guest, creating this locked room mystery and gripping suspense story. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I also love this one because it has compelling characters as well, and you're going to get emotional depth, and of course, we get that page-turning mystery. So I feel like this book checks a lot of boxes. I really do. And it's also fun at the same time. If you're looking for a fun, escapist read that gives you the mystery, the thrill, the suspense, armchair travel too, compelling characters as well, then I highly recommend The Unwedding by Ali Condé. Okay, the fantasy selection. I guess this also straddles historical fantasy as well. But anyway, this book is entitled The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. Now, my elevator pitch for this one is a young knight and a group of unlikely allies embark on a quest to rebuild Camelot and restore balance to a Britain fractured by King Arthur's death, and the ensuing chaos and dark magic that occur. Okay. You heard Young Knight, you heard Camelot, you heard King Arthur. Yes, this is a brilliant reimagining of the legend of King Arthur. I absolutely love this book, and it needs to be on your summer reading list. Now, I think this should be a must-read for your summer reading, especially if you're a fan of the King Arthur and Camelot legend, is because this retelling, this reimagining is absolutely brilliant. We get more inclusive perspectives, we get more diverse and complex characters. And look, the novel's premise is simple. Okay, King Arthur is dead and now they're on a quest for a successor. Very simple. And we have a fellowship of people, of unlikely allies coming together to try and rebuild Camelot and restore Britain and, of course, find a successor, yeah? Now, what this novel and this reimagining does different, and it does it really well, mind you, is that it really dives deep into the backstories of the lesser known characters of the Arthurian saga. So if you're looking for that book that's really imaginative and it gives you the Arthurian legend, but with more diverse characters that are richly developed, by the way. And the author did a really great job at bringing out those minor characters and developed them in a way that I thought was just great. Plus, you also get a post-Arthurian Britain. Yeah, I think this is a book for you. Again, it's inclusive, it's psychologically complex, and it really builds on the legend, but of course is more inclusive and it gives us more depth, if that makes sense. So needless to say, this is for fans of King Arthur and the legend. If you're new to the legend, I still think you'll enjoy this one as well. So I really hope you'll give The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman a try. Okay, book 7 on my list is your romance selection. It's contemporary romance. And the book I'm recommending is Let the Games Begin by Rufaro Faith Mazarura. I hope I'm saying her name right. But anyway, this is contemporary romance. And in Let the Games Begin, we meet an aspiring Olympic worker. So there's this girl, she's always wanted to work at the Olympic Games and she gets an internship to go. And we meet a sprinter. Now, this sprinter has medaled before, but at this Olympic Games, he is going for gold. Now, we see these two literally run into each other at the Olympic Village. We see them get to know each other, strike up a friendship, and we see them navigate the personal and professional challenges that they go through, while, of course, a little budding romance ensues and sparks start to fly. Now, hands down, I was drawn to this book because of the Olympic setting, because we're in an Olympic year. So if you're not going to Paris, I'm not going to Paris this year, then you can get transported to the home of the Olympics because this is set in Greece. So it's obvious, the unique setting of the Olympics at the home of the Olympics. I think that's an already compelling enough reason for you to read it this summer because, again, we're in an Olympic game. Yeah. Now, in this novel, you're really going to feel the excitement of the games. You're also going to get a heartfelt romance story and do some armchair traveling at the same time, which I think really makes for a great summer read. Now, what makes this a standout romance novel is because the story does a really great job at navigating deeper themes like familial expectations and aspirations. It also deals with unresolved grief, but it also gives you those light-hearted and humorous moments through characters who are just incredibly compelling and charming at the same time. I think this romance book checks all the boxes, so I hope you'll give Let the Games Begin a chance this summer. And book 8 on my list is my cozy mystery selection, which I had so much fun with. I love a good cozy mystery, and I love a cozy mystery set in Italy, because when I think of summer, I think of Italy, and I've spent so many summers in Italy, it's borderline ridiculous. So anyway, the book I'm recommending is Nona Maria and the Case of the Lost Treasure by Lorenzo Carcaterra. Now, if you're a fan of gritty crime, noir, thriller, suspense stories, you might be familiar with Lorenzo Carcaterra, but this new series, Nona Maria, is an absolute delight. Now, the book I'm recommending, Nona Maria and the Case of the Lost Treasure, is book 3 in the Nona Maria series. But I promise you, you don't need to read the previous Nona Maria books to jump into this one. Actually, I think if you jump into this one, you might want to go back to the previous 2 Nona Maria books. So anyway, my elevator pitch for this one is Nona Maria embarks on a daring adventure to thwart a revenge plot and uncover hidden treasure in one of Ischia's secret caverns with the help of her network of friends. Now, Nona Maria is a lovable grandmother. She's incredibly compelling, and she just really makes for a great character, and I can see this series really going on for a bit. Now, I am recommending this for your summer reading list because you get wonderful storytelling, you get the mystery, but you also get the history and the culture and the folklore of Italy, and more specifically, this island of Ischia. Now, if you're not familiar with Ischia, Ischia is an island located off the coast of Naples. Yes, it's Naples. And it's absolutely beautiful. And this book screams armchair traveling. And like I said, Nona Maria is incredibly compelling. She's known for her unwavering loyalty, her culinary prowess. She's someone you would want to be your own grandmother. You know, your own grandma, your nona, your nana, whatever different people call grandmothers in different cultures. You will love her. Now, in this book, you're getting dual plots, and that's a common thread in the Nona Maria books. Now, one is a revenge story, and the other is treasure hunting. And the author just manages both beautifully as well. But I think what makes this one stand out, and just the Nona Maria books in general, is a historical backdrop. It really adds that unique and compelling layer. And I think it makes the Nona Maria series and this book a must read for anyone interested in that combination of mystery and history, but also vibrant local culture. So I hope you'll give this one a try. Really, it's lots and lots of fun. And then you'll probably want to go back to the other Nona Maria books. So actually, I have the Nona Maria book here, so I can tell you. So the name of the first book is Nona Maria and the Case of the Missing Bride. The second one is Nona Maria and the Case of the Stolen Necklace. And the book I'm recommending today is Nona Maria and the Case of the Lost Treasure. Now, I also spoke to Lorenzo Carcaterra because I just absolutely love this series. He talks about book 1 and 2, and he teased book 3. So it's a really good episode for you to listen to as well. Also, he gave excellent recommendations of what to do when you're visiting Italy. Right? And his family is native to Italy and Ischia. And he did, He did journalism. What do you call that? A travel journalist doing numerous stories in Italy. So he really has the insider knowledge on what to do and where to go and what to eat. It was a really fun episode. So if you want armchair traveling overload, listen to that episode. It was lots of fun. So yes, and again, I hope you add Nona Maria to your summer reading list. Alrighty, friends, so there you have it, 8 books to add to your summer reading list. Quick recap. Book 1, The Anthropologist by Isagul Savas. Book 2, Nicked by M.T. Anderson. Book 3, God Bless You, Otis Spunkmeyer by Joseph L. Thomas. Book 4, The Widow's Guide to Dead Bastards by Jessica Waite. Book 5, The Unwedding by Ali Condi. Book 6, The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. Book 7, Let the Games Begin by Rufaro Faith Mazarura. And Book 8, Nona Maria and the Case of the Lost Treasure by Lorenzo Carcaterra. Now I'll include a link with a list of all these books in the show notes. I'll also include a link so you can download the 2024 Summer Reading Guide, get more information about the Summer Reading Challenge, get a list of things to do this summer, with or bucket list, learn more about seasonal living this summer, and little summaries of everything I shared today. Now, listeners, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you left the podcast a 5-star rating, write me a review if you love the show. You can also leave me a message in Spotify Q&A. Send me a text message with your thoughts. There's a link in the show notes for you to send me a text message. And hey, you can send me an email and just put podcast in the subject line so I know it's in reference to the show. Alrighty, friends, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.